Good morning. Okay, so I have you a little pushed back. Let me know what you think about it. I don't know. So today I wanted to do a video on the new foundation I happened to buy at Sephora. A lot of companies have been coming out with a foundation recently, so honestly I just had to pick one. Yes, this is the season of foundations, so I went in there to get the new Fenty Beauty Hydrating foundation. So I'm really excited to try this product out, and I'm just going to go ahead and get into it because you're here for the review, not for me to talk a bunch. So this is the Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear Foundation. It claims to be a hydrating medium to full coverage for all skin tones, long wear, and light as air. If I sound kind of funny, it's because it's 10:34 in the morning and I just woke up like an hour and a half ago and I'm a little groggy because I haven't spoken yet. This is being sold for $35. It says it's perfect for normal to dry skin. The coverage is medium. The finish is supposed to be natural. It's cruelty free. And it says that it's a long-lasting coverage. It says get a perfectly smooth, natural-looking finish that lets skin look like skin. She created this formula with grapeseed oil and sodium hyaluronate. I'm really excited about this. I love this. I have not watched any reviews on it because I don't want anyone to ruin it for me. Oh, there is fragrance in here, just letting you know. Sodium hyaluronate is kind of low into the foundations. Honestly, I don't expect them to put a whole lot in here because I'm sure they would jack up the price some more, but usually when I see companies try to put something like that in there, it is really low down in the list, so there is a small percentage of it in there, but I'm just more concerned with the hydrating portion. So I got, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. So this is the shade 210. I shade matched myself at the store. I know I don't look like it, but my face doesn't tan as much as my body, so there's a color difference, but I have to have this match this because it just doesn't look right. Anyway, so I'm just going to do what I normally do. I always put on a moisturizer or some hydrating something before I put on my foundation. So I'm just going to go with my Origins moisturizer. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one side with the brush and one side with a sponge. So we'll see how, maybe if there's a difference or not. So I did see, I actually didn't realize it at first, but I saw that I guess she came out with a hydrating primer. It was called the Soap Primer or something like that. I didn't buy that, but I think that's fine, honestly, because I don't really use a whole lot of primers in the first place. And also, I feel like I won't get a true reading on how this performs. And like how hydrating it is if I have something that's like a super hydrating primer already. You know what I mean? Like I can't tell between the two. I think I'll go in though with my Too Faced Hangover Primer. The reason why is I know this is moisturizing too, but I mean I got dry skin and us dry skin girls gotta do what we gotta do. But I had started trying this product out, and I know it's been around for a while, but I just never tried it. My friend Frida on here literally raves about this thing and loves it, and I'm just like, okay, fine, I'll try it. And ever since then, I'm kind of like, oh wow, this is a good primer for hydrating. I feel like I got a little fluid in my face, but it's okay. I think that's just gonna make us look more plump. It says massage well, so I guess maybe to mix the product up in the squeezy tube. If needed, pump and squeeze simultaneously to release air. Okay. Let me give you a close-up of it. So here she is. Here's the little Fenty pump. And here's the back. There's my shade 210. And this is how it looks. There's a little pump for you to use it. And we'll see if... Oh, I hear it coming. I squeezed it a little bit while I'm pumping it. And there we go. That's my shade. I can't tell if this is too close, but I'm bringing you in because we're about to go in with the foundation. So I'm going to go with the sponge on this side, and I'm using the Wet n Wild sponge, and it is damp. I'm going to go in with this foundation. Oh yeah, that's a good shade match. Oh, I should shave my mustache. Go in with another pump. It doesn't look dewy. It does look kind of matte actually, which is interesting. But I wouldn't say it's satin. It's not a satin finish. It looks more matte, if anything, because look how dewy this side is. And this is just moisturizer. Like, this is just my actual skin. And then this side, it looks matter, that's for sure. I'm gonna build it up right here. It does dry down pretty good. Layers nicely. I'm gonna go down my neck in a minute. I'm just worried about my face right now. I will say it does feel really light. Like, I don't feel like I have really anything, if not just like barely any foundation on, which is nice. I gotta shave my stash though. Little peach fuzz. So this is with no foundation, and this with foundation. It's really pretty. I like this a lot. I actually like how it is medium coverage, because if anything, it still lets my freckles kind of pop through. So I'm gonna bring it in a little bit so you can see the foundation up close. This is how it looks on my skin. This is no makeup, so you can see all this. And then with makeup. Now we're going to do this side. I think I'm going to use this guy because this is what I usually use if I'm going to use a brush. And swivel this on. So this is one thin layer of this on my face. This was like the pump I used. I had a good bit left over. Probably like half of it. And that's how this looks. So I'm going to build it up just a little bit more. If you're looking for something that's like a really dewy and like luminous kind of foundation, I don't think this will be your foundation you're going to want. For me, I think this is a different one. Like, this is really different for me. It's really thin feeling, which is nice. Like, I don't feel like I have a lot on. I'm just trying to get it in my hairline. I might need my sponge for this because it's kind of hard to get in my hairline with a brush. So looking at both sides, they look the same. They look like they gave the same finish with the same like amount of product. I will say I think I like the sponge side better because I think it gave me a little extra hydration, because I guess maybe the sponge is a little damper. So I'm just gonna kind of dab it over this section. But I will say I think that it gave the exact same finish. Like, I feel like they're the exact same. If you are someone who has dry skin and you're looking for a foundation that is like really dewy and like luminous, kind of like the Flower Beauty Light Illusion, or you're a fan of like cushion foundations and stuff like that, I don't know how you're gonna feel about this. It is not that wet and hydrating as those are. This is kind of like almost, in my mind, I view this as it's like a matte foundation for dry skin. So I think that's kind of cool because I like that idea for the summer, because here it's really hot and like humid, because for some reason in August where I live it's hot and then it rains a lot. So you know, you're dealing with like muggy weather. Gosh, can I talk? All the time, and I feel like this would be good for the season. I don't feel like my skin feels like I just put moisturizer on. I feel like it's a tad like drier than it was before I put this foundation on. But I think that's the long wear portion of the foundation. I love the fact how thin it feels for the lightweight portion of this, because I actually feel like it's not gonna set into my lines. Fingers crossed. I have very creasy under eyes, and they're like not even creasing. They're barely even creased. And this little guy out here, he's kind of showing up, but it looks really freaking good right now. Since it almost self-sets, that's even better, because if you're a dry skin girl, you already know. But like, if you can not set your face with powder, that's like the best thing that you can do, and be able to put everything else on. And I feel like I could barely even powder just right here and then leave the rest, and I think I would be fine, just so I could put my bronzer here and it doesn't look splotchy. But even then, like, I think this would still look really good. You could still chance it and I think you'd be fine. I can definitely see someone with normal to even combination skin wearing this and they don't look like a grease ball, because of that like kind of little bit of mattifying in it to like keep it in, you know, in line. And even with dewy, drier skin, I can totally see myself just spraying like a hydrating spray over this and I would be completely fine. It didn't say how long it lasts, like how long wearing it is, but I'm gonna see, because I'll have it on for like the rest of the day. I usually don't take a shower until like 11:30 and it's 11 o'clock right now, so this is so cool. Like, I'm really excited so far about this. I haven't been this excited over a foundation in like forever. Okay, she could make a concealer like this. I think I would be obsessed with it. The funny thing is as I'm sitting here just kind of like talking and like not doing anything with my makeup other than just now putting concealer on, I'm feeling my face and it's setting even more. I think if you actually wait long enough with this foundation, you don't even need to powder it at all, and you'll be able to just put your powders on top of it with no problem, which is like a really cool thing, because like I'm feeling my forehead right now and I could totally just put bronzer on here and I'm not even worried. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sit here a little bit and let it set some more. If anything, I'll just do my brows. I think I'm actually fully set. Go in with my bronzer. This is the Urban Decay Beach Bronzer. I don't see it picking up anywhere or sticking. Yeah, that looks good. That looks really good. Then I'm going to go on with my highlighter. I'm going to use the Ofra Rodeo Drive highlighter. This is how all of the products look powder wise on the foundation. 11:44 right now. I did put this on at 11, so I'm going to call this 11 o'clock for the foundation. I just finished my makeup 40 minutes later. Hey, so it is a few hours, well, some hours later. So right now it is 10:35. I was gonna wait till 11 o'clock, but I feel like I can't really wear it on much longer just because I gotta get up early in the morning and go to work. I mean, I've worn it for almost 12 hours, which probably a lot of you don't wear your makeup that long. Probably shouldn't. Sadly, I wear mine a lot longer. If anything, I go about, sadly, like 15 hours, because I have my makeup on by like 8 and I don't, you know, take it off until like maybe 11, 12. So I feel like this is a good time spot to kind of just call it a night and see how everything looks. So I'm looking at my skin, and remember, I didn't set it with powder or anything, and I will say this right here kind of went away, but I've been touching my cheeks a little bit and I have been touching my nose, so I don't expect that to have stayed, but it looks pretty good. Also, I wanted to show you a close-up of what my skin looks like. If you use me as a shade reference, 210 definitely matches me like perfectly. If you're concerned of whether or not it gets darker once it sets, it doesn't. It stays the exact same. Another thing I thought was very interesting is it didn't dry very fast when I had it sitting on the back of my hand. I thought maybe I would have to go in with more product because I had let it sit on the back of my hand while I was talking and kind of explaining, you know, stuff when I was using the sponge side and the brush side, and it didn't. It was sitting right there and it didn't dry down really at all. Just barely, but like the whole pump was still there. So I really like how it didn't dry down significantly fast to where it's like if you don't work in sections, it's gonna be wasted, you know. So that's a good thing to keep in mind if that's something that is important to you. Another thing is, I think that this is definitely a very long wear foundation. I feel like I could really keep going with this. I'm going to try and see how it works when I go to work, because I work in a warehouse, so you know it's a little hot, a little humid and stuff, so I want to see how it competes with that kind of setting. For me, it's a very normal sensation to kind of have a little bit of tightness, a little bit of dryness that I'm feeling, which granted is in the areas where I had more of my powders. I know if I just spray a dewy setting mist on this, I'm going to be good to go. I don't think it's a super hydrating foundation, but I didn't expect that because it didn't say it was supposed to be a dewy, luminous kind of foundation. It definitely does have more of a natural skin-like finish, more on, for me personally, more on the matte skin-like finish than like dewy. When I think of more of a dewy skin-like finish, I think of a satin finish, and it's not a satin finish. For me, I view it as a matte foundation that's perfect for people who have drier skin. Another thing I love is how it self-sets. Now, if you're immediately putting it on, and you're not letting it self-set, which I feel like it takes a few minutes for it to fully set on its own. I want to say maybe like 5 to 8 minutes, but if you're not gonna wait for it, it is gonna have just the tiniest bit of tackiness to it. You know what that feeling is, and you'll have to powder it. But if you're trying to avoid it, I would maybe like do your brows or do your eye makeup beforehand or while it's drying, so you can like be multitasking, and then you can totally just set this on, or it'll totally just set on its own. You don't even need to set it with powder, and that's a really, really nice plus. I think it faded really nice. The medium to full coverage aspect of it, I feel like it was a medium coverage. I mean, I used 2 pumps for my whole face, 2.5 pumps, and this is kind of the finish I got. So I feel like maybe if you're wanting to cover up your freckles or cover up anything like that, you're not gonna really fully be able to unless you really layer it. I do believe that this can be full coverage because it really does layer beautifully. It layers over itself very easily, but it's definitely not full coverage from the get-go. Overall, I really like this foundation. I don't really buy a lot of foundations that are on the pricier side. For this to be the first like pricier foundation that I've gotten in a long time, I'm very happy with this. I feel like the grapeseed oil and the sodium hyaluronate were kind of lower in the ingredients, so if you're wanting to buy it solely for those 2 ingredients in it, I think you're better off just getting a serum and applying it on your own face. I wouldn't rely on this foundation or really any other foundation that advertises that kind of stuff to you, because you really don't know how much is actually in it. So I would kind of almost take it with a grain of salt and just care more about how the way it feels on your skin, how it looks on your skin, and how it wears on your skin. So I hope that was helpful. I hope my review was helpful, and thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think about the foundation. Did you buy it? What do you think about it? I like to hear what other people think, and I also love a good feedback on, you know, if my review was helpful or what could I do to help make it more helpful, you know what I mean? But yeah, other than that though, that's all I have to say. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in my next video.